Kelly. Hey, congratulations for your film, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. It's been out for a while, and a lot of people have been talking about it this year after view.
Oh, oh, cool. Thank you so much.
I know I've seen it a couple of times. It's one of the better movies this year. But it's could you tell us how this journey actually came about? Because Judy Blume wrote this book 50 years ago. I want to know is what did you say to her that actually got this movie made?
I sent her an email. I sent her an email cold. Really just told her how much her work meant to me and how much of a North Star she was for me as a writer and when I made my first film, The Edge of 17. Um, and I said how much I wanted to make Margaret into a film, and that it felt like this was the time where we could make it and make it right. We could get the support that I think the film deserves. And so, um, to my surprise, like I didn't even know if she was going to write back. I mean, because you write Judy Blume, like you're writing a legend. Like so I really didn't think she would write back, but she did. The next day, I had an email back in my inbox, and it turns out that she had watched The Age of 17 and really responded to it. And then we started talking, um, and then flew out there, and then out to Key West where she lives, and then the next thing we knew, we were off to the races.
So, how did you carefully craft the screenplay for this movie, knowing that Judy Blume wrote the book, millions and millions of people read the books over decades. So,
hmm
how did you want to approach this and not change the story too drastically for to be on screen?
Yeah, well, I definitely knew I knew I wanted it to be a very faithful adaptation. But at the same time, like I think that if an adaptation is too literal, it actually like betrays the book. I think so. What I found is that it really was about serving the spirit of the book and delivering the spirit of the book rather than delivering it line for line. You know, so so uh, so I really was just trying to write something that made me feel the way the book made me feel, even when I was adding things to it that didn't exist or taking certain things away or shuffling things, just that was the litmus test.
Of course, a lot of critics and a lot of people do praise that you fleshed out the adult characters in this book. Could you tell us more about that? And because I know a lot of people are talking about Rachel McAdams' terrific
Yeah.
performance in this film.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It was so the experience I had was when I went and I reread the book as an adult. What I didn't expect is how interested I would be in Margaret's mom and Margaret's grandma. Um, and there was only a very little bit about them in the book, but there was just enough that made me think, who are these women? This is really interesting. They're actually going through their own life transitions while Margaret's going through hers. And what would happen if we dove into those a little bit deeper? And so I started to really flesh out those characters, and in particular with Rachel's character. Um, I wanted to explore the complexity of motherhood, in particular when you are someone who has your own creative passions, and just how um, hard it is to balance selfhood with motherhood. Like sometimes I feel that I'm always dealing with this like balancing act where um I'm constantly questioning like how much to give of myself to my own creative pursuits and the things that I love, and then how much time to give as a mom. And so, there's only so much time in the day, you know what I mean? So you have to divvy up your day, and what how much to give each is always like a constant wrestling that I have within myself and creates a lot of guilt. And all that. So I wanted to explore that in a film because I hadn't seen that before.
I'm actually amazed on how you approach this film and The Edge of 17 because you really capture the teen girl's voice through these films. I mean, how do you do that? Are you like secretly a teen yourself?
I definitely feel like that the teenage me like never left me. Like she just lived right here, sadly, embarrassingly. But yeah, I don't know. Those feelings aren't hard for me to conjure up. The embarrassment of the age and just the highs and lows and all of it. It's very lives right there under the surface.
That is terrific to hear. I one of the particular iconic lines in the film, I wanted to know how you wanted to approach you probably know what I'm talking about, the we must
Yes.
bust. So how did you handle that scene? Because that's one of the lines that a lot of generations remember.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, no, I knew that is, it's like if people don't remember much about the book, they absolutely remember that. So I knew we couldn't get it wrong. And it actually turned out that while I was filming, um, I was teaching the girls how to do the move, and I was teaching them to do it like this, where you push your hands together. Um, and Judy Blume was on the set that day and like shot out of her chair and was like, "You're doing it wrong." So I guess like it turned out that I was doing it wrong all my life. Um, but yeah, you so she demonstrated that you do it with like a closed fist and sort of like pull your arms back and taught the girls how to do it correctly. But yeah, thank God she was there that day on set because if I would have gotten like the iconic thing wrong, that would have just sucked. I would have had to reshoot it. So, um, yeah,
Well, I'm glad Judy had her input into this film. And
yeah.
one more major thing is
Mhm.
how difficult was it to cast Abby in the role of Margaret for your film, or was that an easy decision?
It was an easy decision, but it was tough getting there because we had to see, we saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls. But the minute Abby walked in, she was it. There was no question. It was so completely evident. It was like call off the search. We've got her. So
That is
yeah.
awesome. And real fast, Kelly, because I was just watching a Good Morning America interview with Judy Blume, and she
Mhm.
actually remarked that your movie is better than her book. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
how do you react to something like that?
I am just so overjoyed that she's happy. I mean that was my biggest goal was just like to do right by her. So I am just so thrilled that she's as happy as she is.
That is terrific. Well, Kelly, thank you very much for speaking to us about Are You There, God? God, it's me, Margaret. It is a terrific movie that covers a lot of angst for teen girls and religion at the same time, and it's now available everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.